Up on Mountain News this morning, Britain's former prince now under criminal investigation, the stunning arrest linked to Jeffrey Epstein. Plus, President Trump warns Iran as the threat of military action intensifies. More on the demands over Tehran's nuclear program and what Iran may be asking in return.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Neely Green here with you on this Friday, February 20th. The time is now 6 o'clock, and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmond for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, that is just a sound of relief to my ears.
Oh, you're not hearing? Yeah, the rain, it's finally stopped here in Perry County. We don't have to hear it on the roof anymore. It's very loud in the studio. That's one thing you don't realize about a tin roof. But in terms of what we're watching throughout the rest of the morning, still seeing this little bit of rain holding on. I'll go ahead and pause it to right now so you can see where that's located. The heaviest rain is in portions of Wise, Dickinson, and Buchanan County, Virginia. The rest of our counties seeing a little bit of some light to moderate rain almost on the way out, though. We'll see that clearing in the next hour or so. Now, in terms of those temperatures, though, we're seeing a mixture of the mid to upper 50s right now. 57 in Williamsburg, 59 in London. This is what you're expecting as you're heading out the door. But as we head into the afternoon, we're expecting about the same temperatures. You'll notice, though, it's a tad chillier for those living on the western side of our region as they've been dealing with this cold front a little bit longer. But those living on the eastern side, you could see a little bit warmer temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Overall, though, still a pretty warm day for this time of year as we're supposed to be in the low 50s. So here's a look through the next several hours. Again, not too much change in those forecast temperatures throughout the day. Neely.
Thank you, Megan. In South Central Kentucky, a teenager was charged in connection with the death of a woman and her son. State police say they were called about a death investigation in the Scottsville community of Allen County Wednesday night. A mother identified as Tracy Trasky, along with her 12-year-old son, were found dead inside of a home. The 17-year-old that was arrested in the case is facing charges of murder as well as tampering with evidence. Britain's former Prince Andrew remains under investigation this morning, one day after his shocking arrest in the United Kingdom. The probe was sparked by recently released Epstein files that suggest he may have given sensitive government information to disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein back when he served as trade envoy. This marks the first time a senior member of the British royal family has been arrested in nearly 400 years.
In the Epstein file release that we've seen recently in the last few weeks, there appear to have been documents and emails which Andrew forwarded to Jeffrey Epstein and other people, which appear to have been highly sensitive.
King Charles stripped his younger brother of his official titles last year over his connection to Epstein amid allegations of encounters with young women. The search for Kentucky native Nancy Guthrie is now in its third week. Investigators are hoping DNA found in and around the 84-year-old's Tucson home could lead them to a suspect. DNA from a glove found nearby wasn't a match for anything in the FBI's criminal database, but the Pima County Sheriff's Department says they're also turning to forensic investigative genetic genealogy, or FIG, for potential matches. It incorporates public genealogy databases with DNA analysis and looks at an entire family tree. It's helped crack high-profile cold cases and is used by police here in Kentucky.
And there will be a forensic genealogist who will take that known DNA sample, and then through their investigative techniques, they will grow a tree, and they will see where that tree takes them, and they will connect the dots. And with the forensic genetic genealogy, that is even a bigger lens that law enforcement can look through, because it doesn't just identify one single person. It will help identify possible family members.
KSP Detective Ben Wilcott says once investigators identify possible family members, they can begin narrowing down their search for the suspect. He believes FIG could be the tipping point in the Guthrie case. The White House continues to build up an Armageddon in the Middle East as President Trump issued a warning of really bad things if Iran doesn't agree to stop its nuclear ambitions. The president's new timeline, 10 to 15 days. As the military gets in position for a potential attack on Iran, the Trump administration says it's still working on diplomatic efforts. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest.
On Air Force One,
We're going to make a deal, or we're going to get a deal one way or the other.
President Trump leaving his options open for possible military action against Iran as he ordered a massive buildup of American naval ships in the Middle East.
They cannot continue to threaten the stability of the entire region.
The U.S. is pushing for Iran to curb its nuclear program. Last June, President Trump said U.S. strikes had completely destroyed 3 nuclear sites.
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
But now the administration believes Tehran still has hundreds of kilograms of enriched uranium and plans to build a nuclear weapon. Amid diplomatic talks, sources tell CBS News Iran is seeking sanctions relief, and Tehran may be willing to buy American aircraft and offer possible access to oil and gas fields. Meanwhile, Tehran released video of the Iranian Navy holding joint exercises with Russia Thursday, a show of force in the face of escalating tensions.
The Iranians still have a very substantial stock of short-range missiles. They can fight back at the kinds of targets where there are significant American assets.
All of this as President Trump announced the U.S. will contribute $10 billion to his Board of Peace, hosting members for the first meeting in Washington Thursday, initially created to rebuild Gaza.
We hope that this can serve as a model for other complex and difficult situations.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is set to visit Israel next week. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The U.S. and Iran recently held 2 rounds of indirect talks over Iran's nuclear program. The White House has said this week that the 2 nations are very far apart on some issues. President Donald Trump is planning to direct the Pentagon to release government files related to UFOs. In a Truth Social post on Thursday, Trump said he'll direct relevant federal departments and agencies to begin the process. The president wants files on extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and all information connected to UFOs made public. The announcement comes after former President Barack Obama appeared to confirm on a podcast last weekend that aliens exist. Trump then accused Obama of revealing classified information on aliens. However, Obama cleared up his comments, saying on social media he was referring to the likelihood of life on other planets. President Trump tariffs have barely moved the needle on the country's trade deficit. New data from the Commerce Department shows it went down just 0.2% last year. The trade deficit measures how much more the U.S. imports than exports. Cutting down on the country's reliance on imports was a main reason for Trump's tariffs. One reason the deficit didn't move much last year was importers stockpiled the goods before the tariffs took effect. The Kentucky Supreme Court struck down the state's charter school funding law. The ununanimous decision affirmed to a lower court ruling that charter schools, as created under House Bill 9, fall outside Kentucky's constitutionally protected common school system. That means public tax dollars cannot be used to fund them without voter approval. Justice Michelle Keller wrote the majority opinion, saying charter schools don't meet the definition of common schools because they can cap enrollment, use a lottery for admission, and operate independently of school boards. You can read the full opinion on WYMT.com. A bill in the State House that could save lives on the water moved one step closer to becoming law. The House Standing Committee on Tourism and Outdoor Recreation passed House Bill 168 in Frankfurt. It now heads to the full House for a vote. The bill aims to crack down on boating under the influence. It's sponsored by Representative Kim Fleming. Alex Ode with Mothers Against Drunk Driving pushed for a similar bill in the past, but legislators shot it down.
And at the time, I was told by an elected official that boating and drinking go hand in hand, and this was never going to happen in Kentucky. I wish that we had been able to make changes 15 years ago. I wish that people would have listened 15 years ago, because I wanted to be the last little girl this ever happened to.
Ade says in an ideal world, the laws would just say vessel, making no difference between a vehicle and a boat, but she says she's grateful just to see progress on the bill. Yesterday, the West Virginia State House unanimously passed a bill that would give a pay raise to teachers, school personnel, and state police. The bill passed would be a 3% pay raise, but it did get some pushback for not being high enough. Caldwell County Delegate Sean Hornbuckle argued on the House floor that these workers deserve a higher raise, especially with rising costs. Dale Lee, co-president of the West Virginia Teachers Union, Education West Virginia, told our sister station that he still hoped the Senate might increase the number.
It's important to get a bill moving and to get it through the House, through the process. Now we have the opportunity with the budgets that are still going to be debated and to be passed to possibly increase that amount. But the important part was to get a bill moving and get it out there.
And both the House and Senate proposed budgets allocate money for this 3% pay raise.
It's a very warm start to your morning with most folks seeing the upper 50s as you're heading out the door. Some even seeing the 60s at 60 degrees right now in Manchester, Middlesboro, Pikeville, 61 in Prestonsburg, Stanton, Moorhead, Somerset. So it's going to get warm today, and we're really not going to see too much of a change from these temperatures as the upper 50s, low 60s stay in power as we head all day long. In fact, as we look towards this cold front, that's what's dropping our temperatures down over the course of the next 2 hours, but then again warming right back up to where we are right now. And you can see that on the 12-hour forecast. A lot of upper 50s, low 60s are on the way with plenty of sunshine heading into the afternoon. Neely.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. The popular bar for college students reopening in Richmond. Hear from the new owners, hoping to bring back the good old days.